So often when people drop out of presidential races, you think to yourself, God, I'm never going to see that guy again. That's too bad, because he was such a lunatic. He was fun to watch. Well, Rick Santorum is one of those people. And apparently he's back on the scene claiming that he wrote Graham-Cassidy, very possibly. And here he is doing his best to pretend that Graham-Cassidy does not roll back the federal requirement that insurance companies cannot or prohibits insurance companies from denying you coverage if you have pre-existing condition. Not makes it affordable, not adequate, blah, 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 not mushy, mealy things. The bottom line is you cannot sell insurance if you don't provide for pre-existing conditions, if you in any way prohibit people with pre-existing conditions from buying your insurance. Period. End of story. That's it. And here is Rick Santorum trying to argue with Kathleen Sebelius that the bill actually doesn't say that.
That's why we moved away.
Yeah,
the ACA was about ensuring outcomes.
I understand
not
that,
just pricing.
I understand
taking
that.
And for the first time, actually forcing companies to compete about service and price, not about who they could cherry pick the market, who could drive out the sickest people, who could make money.
As you well know, Madam Secretary, Graham-Cassidy does make sure that people with pre-existing conditions are covered.
Absolutely
yes,
not true.
I wrote the bill, Madam Secretary.
Well,
I know what's
congratulations,
in the bill.
but it actually allows insurance companies to go back to medical underwriting.
Let me tell you exactly what it says. It says that every insurance company under Graham-Cassidy has to cover people with pre-existing condition. Every state
can they charge them a lot more? Can they price them out of the market?
You know what? The reality is that the state can get a waiver, just like, by the way, they can under
to
Obamacare.
Put people in different risk pools.
Excuse me, Madam Secretary, if you allow me to finish. Under Obamacare, there's a waiver process in Obamacare that allows people to get waivers. Now, no state has done it, but you can get waivers under Obamacare.
So, Rick, just to be clear, is your answer yes to that question? Yes, they can underwrite it the way they want. They can charge people with pre-existing conditions what they want. Is the answer yes?
The state has to get a waiver, just like they do under Obamacare, but they have to get a waiver from the Secretary.
But
and again,
right
no
now,
state
you can't price it the way you want.
Correct.
Let me finish.
But it matters. You got to answer the question, bud.
I am answering the question, but you're not giving me the chance to answer it.
It's a yes/no answer.
Well, it's not a yes/no answer. Under both laws, the states can get a waiver on the issue of pre-existing condition. And under ours, if it says you get a waiver, then you have to show the Secretary that you're providing affordable and accessible insurance.
Kathleen, how is it different than what now?
So the answer is yes, they will get affordable insurance.
The senator,
affordable is not the same as it is now. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Well, and the senator is just wrong. The waiver that is in the current Affordable Care Act says if a state can figure out a way to insure as many people and to keep prices adequate, they can use the federal money in various ways to provide that insurance.
That's exactly what we do
Senator,
under this
you
bill.
said they could waive pre-existing conditions. That's absolutely false.
They have to guarantee people with pre-existing condition affordable and accessible
insurance. And they have to offer a package of benefits that guarantees if you are sick, you will have the medical care you need.
That's right. And
the Graham-Cassidy bill allows states to waive the essential health benefits and allow states to put people in risk.
They could put that in their plan, but as you know, Madam
totally
Secretary,
undermines
the
pre-existing condition.
Look at poor Chris Cuomo's just sitting there like, Look, Rick Santorum can't talk over me right now, so I'm going to tell you why he's lying. Or why he's not lying. He's trying to cloud the picture. The Affordable Care Act allows all sorts of waivers where a state can figure out different ways with the exchanges, or they can do private, public, whatnot. But the bottom line is none of that has anything to do with the one thing they cannot waive. And you cannot waive the requirement that insurance companies insure, not offer at an adequate price, some vague number, blah, blah, blah. No, You must insure people with pre-existing conditions. That's off the table. You cannot sell insurance unless you offer it to people with pre-existing conditions. And there are price formulas, hard numbers tied into what you charge other people. You can't, there's no waiver that will allow you to come up with a new price for insurance companies to charge people with pre-existing conditions. There's regulatory structures that are immutable, as opposed to the Graham-Cassidy.
Was that put in the original bill as like a giveaway to Republicans saying, hey, if you can figure out a way to do this through the market, then fine, you can take that money, but we don't actually think you're going to be able to do that? So that's why no one has done it?
In the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
No, it's because most states have not figured out a way to do it more efficiently than the exchange. Like at one point, right? Vermont was going to get a waiver to do a single payer system. And they ended up not going for it. But you cannot waive the requirement that you provide essential healthcare benefits. That if you sell the product insurance, it must include 8 of these essential healthcare benefits, and you cannot deny people who have pre-existing conditions.
Oh, what the fuck would you know, Rachel? Rick wrote the fucking bill. You and that broad keep lying about it. It's really fucking irritating.
Now,
get on the field, you sons of bitches. Play the game.
Play the game.
Play the game.
We're going to get to
Why
that.
don't you respect the troops for a change? Who do you think protects you when you're walking around with your hormone-free milk and your other lesbian items you purchase? The police. That's why you don't get robbed every day and beaten with your glasses smashed in your freaking Jew face. But no appreciation. None.
It sounds a little bit like right-wing Mandela has a cold today.
I do have a cold because of socialized medicine.
You're saying that socialized medicine actually made you sick?
Well, if you think of the pathogens that the illegals are bringing across the borders, and the fact that I cannot get a super laser beam imported directly from Singapore because of government bureaucrats, as Greg has so elegantly pointed out, which would mean I would never get colds again.
If you had a super laser beam.
If I had a super laser beam from Singapore, why do you oppose this? Oh, I forgot, because you worship government. Rachel, Samantha, whatever the fuck your name is. But yeah, go ahead, criticize Rick. He's out on the field doing something. He wrote Graham-Cassidy before Cassidy was even in the Senate.
He's a lobbyist. I mean...
Yes, he's a fucking lobbyist for open exchange of ideas.
I wish somebody would have said, like, wait a second, you what? You wrote it? How is it that you wrote it? You're a lobbyist.
Exactly.
Who do you represent?
Lobbyists.
Who is it your lobbying firm represents that you wrote this?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the health insurance companies, the ones that know how to do the fucking job. You must have some relatives that work in health insurance, don't you, Rachel?
I don't. You
must.
They're all attorneys.
Think of attorneys for who? Think of all the paperwork that isn't going to get filed. That might affect your
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Globe emoji, globe emoji, globe emoji.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos